My father was 6'6", 240 pounds. My father said what he meant, and he meant every single word he said. Now, I tease people all the time because we live in what I call the timeout generation. Some of you guys have bought into the timeout generation, haven't you? You want to give your kids a timeout. I hear you at the mall. I see you in the airport. Oh, Hannah, if you don't knock it off, Mommy's going to give you a timeout. William, I'm going to count to 3, and if you don't have your fanny in that seat, I'm going to give you a timeout. 1, 2, 2.5. My dad was old school, from a little small town in Tennessee, and my daddy gave timeouts. His timeouts were different. When we got in trouble, I mean real trouble, my father would go into the closet and get his favorite leather belt. He never wore this belt with clothes. This belt had one function and one function only. We got in trouble. It was always me and my brother. My sister never got in trouble. It was always me and my brother. My dad would go in the closet, get his favorite leather belt, and he would spank us until he got tired. And then he'd take a time out. By the time I was 12 or 13, my dad could look at us and we straightened up. It got so bad, I would say, Dad, don't worry about it this time. I'm going to spank myself. But I thank God for those timeouts, and here's why. You always hear the term peer pressure. Am I right or wrong? My kid deals with peer pressure. My kid is dealing with peer pressure. Peer pressure is real, but my father created what I call parental pressure. And parental pressure was stronger than peer pressure, so it protected me in the streets of Chicago. Does that make sense? My dad raised kids, and we've all gone on to be functional citizens in society, so I thank God for timeouts. But here's where it got real tricky for me. My father was a 6'6", 240-pound high school principal who said what he meant and meant what he said. The first thing I want to talk about today is confidence. Look to your neighbor and say confidence. This is one thing I learned from professional sports. I never, ever, ever, ever had an NBA teammate without extremely high levels of confidence. When I played high school basketball, some of my teammates' confidence fluctuated. At the University of Minnesota, Division I basketball, Big Ten basketball, many of my teammates' confidence fluctuated. But when I got to the Utah Jazz, Dallas Mavericks, and Detroit Pistons, I never, ever, ever had an NBA teammate without extremely high levels of confidence. I give you permission to be confident. There's nothing you're going to do well without confidence. For some reason, our society frowns on confidence. I can't figure out why. Don't you believe Oprah Winfrey has confidence? Don't you believe Bill Gates has confidence? Tiger Woods has confidence. Am I right or wrong? Michael Jordan has confidence. I just left D.C. in inauguration. Guess what? Our new president has what? Confidence. There is nothing you can do well in any industry without confidence. See, when we were young, developing, and immature, we always threw pity parties. Am I right or wrong? We couldn't process our emotions, so everything was a big deal. Raise your hand if you played records in high school. 33s, 45s, 78s. Raise both hands if you had an egg-track tape player in high school. Now, it's a couple of you guys with that silver hair. I see you in the back. You cranked your music in high school, but I'm going to leave you alone today. Nowadays, what do kids have? iPods and MP3s. If you have kids, they are somewhere throwing a pity party about something. Am I right or wrong? So I got back home, closed my bedroom door, and I brought up my boombox, and I invited Lionel Richie to my pity party. You've never been to a good party without music, have you? I cut up my boombox and played me some Lionel Richie. Hello? Is it me you're looking for? For I wonder where you are, and I wonder what you do. Are you somewhere feeling lonely, or is someone loving you? Tell me how to win your heart. For I haven't got, words had nothing to do with my situation. I just wanted to throw a pity party. What did I do as soon as the song was over? Played it again. I played that song over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. That's why I hated cassette tapes. Nowadays, it's real easy. We press one button, and our little sad song plays over and over and over again. This is what I learned from sports. Hear me and hear me good. I love to compete against weak-minded athletes. I love to compete against weak-minded athletes. Every single game, I would get a scouting report when I was in the NBA against who I matched up against that night. It would give me a breakdown of where they like to shoot the ball. It would give me a percentage of what side of the court where they scored the bulk of their points. It gave us all kind of insight and information on how to defeat my competition. And at the very bottom, it would give you a mental makeup of your matchup for that night. I don't care if it was Michael Jordan, Clyde Drexler, Reggie Miller, on and on. You would get a matchup of who you had to compete against that night. And every once in a while, I would see at the bottom the mental makeup of the athlete, and it would say something like this: he is very talented, very athletic, but he is soft. He is very athletic. He has a great vertical. If he gets going, he can have a great night, but if you get on him early, he will quit. He is not mentally tough. These scouting reports. And my first thought was, what are they saying about me in the other locker room? Everybody in this room has a scouting report. I don't know your scouting report, but I tell you one thing. You can criticize my left hand. You can talk about my jump shot, but you better not ever call me soft. For me, that's the kiss of death. And so when I read my scouting report, and when it said the player was soft and they would quit, I would shoot him an elbow as soon as the game would start, and almost always he would quit. But every once in a while, I throw one elbow, and I get two back. We played that pity party over and over and over again because when people are weak-minded, they meditate on the wrong thing over and over and over again. It has nothing to do with talent. It has nothing to do with the ability. What happens is this person has an undisciplined mind. They meditate on the wrong thing over and over and over again. Here's the good news. I cut off my boombox, and I came up with the plan. I'm going back to high school. I'm going to be starting a baseball team, basketball team, football team, president of the journalism club, and my classmates are going to vote me most likely to succeed, even though I'm the principal's son. Significant because every student, every teacher had made up their mind to hate my guts the first day of school. I'm happy to report by the time I graduated from high school, I was starting a baseball team, basketball team, football team, president of the journalism club, and my classmates voted me most likely to succeed. And as a bonus, I heard through the grapevine all the girls thought I was cute.